Very nice. Your playing has improved.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been practicing.
I see. Why don't you try playing standing up?
Yeah, I think I could stand up and play that.
Good. Go on then. Oh my, that doesn't sound very good at all, does it?
Hello, welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today, standing up while playing guitar. I've been practicing guitar for the last probably year and a half now, every single day, trying to improve, trying to get better at guitar. And typically, when I'm playing guitar, I am sitting like this. I have a bench like this, or I'm sitting in my computer chair, and I'm playing along. Seems normal, seems like most people when they're practicing are sitting down. The thing is, recently I've been feeling like it would be fun to play with other people. I have a couple friends who play guitar who have invited me to go and play at their place, plug into their amps, jam, just kind of fool around. And I was thinking about that and realized that I had never really played standing up. But how hard could it be, right? You just stand up, you get a guitar strap, you put it on, and you start playing. The thing is, it's a lot harder than I thought. Now, I've tried playing standing up in the past. You know, there have been a couple times where I've been in bands and maybe I was showing someone a song that I had written or something like that. And it always felt off, but I never really thought that much about it. I figured it was just something that I would need to practice. If I stood up more, I'd get better at playing. But as I've been trying to do it now, like really making a concerted effort to stand up and play guitar, I've realized that there are some mechanical issues that I really can't seem to get past. Let me stand up and show you. When I'm standing like this with the guitar at what seems like a typical normal place for the guitar to hang, when I try to make a bar chord, the angle that I have to hold my wrist at is so uncomfortable. Maybe you can see that there. It is really hard to do bar chords. It's really hard to do almost anything. Open chords aren't horrible. Playing lead stuff isn't horrible because I can put my thumb over the top, but bar chords in particular are just so difficult. And I started thinking, like, what am I going to do about this? How am I ever going to actually stand up and play guitar? So I started watching live video of famous guitar players playing guitar, standing up. Obviously, they're all on stage standing. Almost nobody is sitting in a stool when they're playing a show. And for the most part, everyone seemed to have their guitar strap around here. There are people like Jimmy Page, who would have his guitar, almost down around his knees, playing like this. A lot of punk bands, a lot of metal bands playing like this. And for the life of me, I could not figure out how these people were doing it. How can they be good? Especially a guitar player like Jimmy Page, who is a really good guitar player. How is he playing like that? I couldn't figure it out. And so I struggled with it and struggled with it. I was wrenching my wrist around, trying to get into some sort of position that would actually work for me. I could find that maybe I could play lead stuff, maybe I could play open chords, but when I did bar chords, it was a real issue. And then one day it just sort of occurred to me. When I am sitting and playing my guitar like this, my guitar is like this. It's in a very comfortable position. I don't have to have a really crazy angle on my wrist when I'm chording. And I thought, well, why don't I just set my guitar strap so that it's like this when I stand up? So all I had to do was shorten my strap. Now when I put this on, it hangs at pretty much the same level that my guitar would hang, or not hang, but sit when I'm sitting and playing guitar. Then when I stand up, it's basically in the same position. works. It works fine. Now the problem is, I kind of look like a dork. My guitar is hanging up, just sitting right below my boob, as it were. That's something that you just have to kind of get past, I guess, or at least something that I'm personally going to have to get past. I looked into it. Obviously, there are people out there who play guitar with their guitar strapped pretty high on their body. Mechanically, it just makes sense to me. I still, for the life of me, can't understand how anyone plays the guitar down around their knees. I just can't figure it out from a mechanical perspective. It just doesn't seem to work. Obviously, people do make it work, and they can make it work really well. To me, this is just comfortable, having the guitar here as I'm standing. It just works for me. This is where it feels most natural and most comfortable to play. Now, I'm never going to be a rock god playing in an arena to tens of thousands of people, so I don't worry too much about how I look while I'm playing guitar. But in case you've been struggling with this yourself, there are some people who you've probably heard of who do play with their guitar strapped pretty high up. Albert Hammond Jr. from The Strokes comes to mind, the guitarist from Biffy Clyro. Tons of indie sort of alternative bands keep their guitars up pretty high. Obviously, bands from the 60s like the Beatles, the Kinks, usually had their guitars way up there. It wasn't until we got into the late 60s, maybe into the 70s, that it seemed like people were really slinging their guitars low. Even Jimi Hendrix didn't have his guitar super, super low while he was playing. And then when you look at people who do have their guitars really low, and you look at what they're playing, a lot of the times, people like Slash, he's playing power chords and he's way down there, but then when he wants to play a solo, he puts the guitar up on his knee and plays like this so he can get it into a better position. So, if looking cool is the most important thing for you, and you don't have a problem with kind of screwing your mechanics a little bit when you're playing, I guess having your guitar really low is fine. But if you want to be comfortable, if you want to play the way that to me makes the most sense, don't be afraid to raise it up, strap it up there. Maybe you'll look like a little bit of a dork, but there are plenty of people out there whose playing, I think, speaks for itself, whether they look weird or not. And I think if you're playing something really good, it doesn't really matter how you look. So that's kind of how I've gotten past the whole how do I play standing up thing. I just keep my strap basically where it would hang or where it would lie when I'm sitting and playing. And that way, when I'm practicing sitting down, I can easily transfer to standing up, and I don't have to change my mechanics at all. It makes for a nice, consistent way of practicing. So there you go. Just a little thing that I was sort of struggling with recently, and I feel like I've come to a good solution. And in case you've been struggling with the same thing, maybe this will help you. Thank you so much for watching. I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.